I still can't believe we're talking about this 3 years later. If you did not know and you're new to the channel, hello, welcome. 3.5 years ago, I made a video about Rand's Toys Review, and I went into specific detail about the shady business practices that were happening behind the scenes. That video did surprisingly well for me. It turns out an awful lot of people were concerned about this child and what the hell his parents were doing, which is good to know, but also not great because no action's actually been taken since then. YouTube actually disabled the comments on that video, so there wasn't even any dialogue about what was happening, which was crap. And see, to be fair, I haven't really heard anything since then until suddenly a month ago on YouTube. Lots of these videos have been popping up on my recommendations talking about Rand being a slave. So the $1 million question is Rand's Toys Review, is he a slave? Let's have a wee look at this. So a bit of background into this creator. His name is Rand Kaiji and he's originally from Texas. He's 13 years old and he has been online on YouTube for 10 years, meaning he's been creating content for kids since he was 3. And obviously he's not the one recording these videos. His mum and dad were behind the scenes, and his mum and dad is called Shion and Leon Kaiji as well. Along with that, he's got 2 twin sisters, Emma and Kate, who've only recently started getting involved in the content, but nice, so they are more so taking the primary focus, especially when it comes to toy reviews and whatnot. Which is a smart business move, I'll give them that. Once one of your kids is all used up and isn't cute anymore, fuck them in the bin. Jump in the bed with a wife, make another one, and there you go, another $100 million baby. And look, they're twins, you get 2 for the price of 1. You've literally hit the monetization jackpot. Speaking of jackpot, do you know that for 3 years between 2018 and 20, they were number 1 of the most paid YouTubers ever? Like, they were number 1. They made more than everyone. That's how rich they are. And look, they're still on the rich list as of 2021 and 2 and 3, but they just aren't number 1. I think last year they were number 2. So, you know, shame on them. How fucking dare they? Won't be long now until they catch poor like the rest of us. I'm just trying to hammer home to you here. They have made more money than any of us could ever in our wildest dreams even fathom. Like, they have enough money to retire hundreds of times over. That's how rich they are. Which begs the question, why are they still making videos? I don't know if any of you actually watch the channel at all. They own a lot of houses, like a lot. And they're not just houses, they're like mansions. I think they've done like 5 or 6 house tours in the last few years, and all of the houses featured definitely would cost at least 5 to 10 million, which definitely would eat into your bank account. I'd also say they're big fans of extravagant holidays. You know, the type of holidays that poor people can't afford. Yeah, they like those. And that's fine, you know, work hard, play hard, but why don't you just not have them and just let your kids have a normal, regular life? Another thing that's completely unrelated to anything that we're talking about. What is going on with the dad's haircut? How has this guy got hundreds of millions in the bank account but yet can't get a decent haircut? My guy has literally got the worst hairdo every year on repeat. He's just always got a different crap haircut. Can someone please connect him with their barber, please? Maybe that's all this is about. Maybe his lust for money will stop once he has a decent haircut. This could all be solved with a fucking haircut. Since we're on the subject of just harshly critiquing their parents, is the man just like looking for an acting job or something? In every single video, she's Jim Carreying the shit out of everything. In every scene, she seems like the only person that wants to be there. She seems like she just really genuinely wants to be an actress. And look, that's completely fine, but are you saying if we just get her some acting jobs, this whole thing just stops? Mark my words, the dad gets a good haircut and the ma gets an acting job, and Rand Toys Review is free to live his life as a normal human being. So there's been a lot of controversy with this channel and the parents in particular over the last few years, but for some reason, one story that a lot of the tabloid press and YouTubers became fixated on was the fact that the mum, Luan, had been to jail at one point, and it was over stealing a pair of jeans when she was like 16, 17. It was honestly just a big nothing burger, and You know, who hasn't done something stupid when they were younger? Although, personally, I think it was criminal that she didn't steal something a wee bit better than a pair of fucking jeans, but you know, if you're gonna commit a crime, at least go hard or go home. You know what I mean? A pair of jeans, like. I think the reason why people ran with it was the fact that there was a mugshot, so they had that, you know, perfect clickbait image that they could use about the fact that she had been to jail. But in proper context, it's just like, sure, you want to talk about the child exploitation? Do we really want to talk about the fact that Ma stole a pair of jeans like 20 years ago? Is that really important? I think the more important story to talk about is just their lack of respect of following the guidelines. For example, in 2017, Karoo, Children's Advertising Review Unit, they had actually examined the channel and basically said, look, yous are not disclosing advertisements correctly. This needs to be done in a way that kids can understand. Ran is talking about a product because you're being paid to do so. In the space of that all coming out, the data come out and says that they, you know, will follow this correctly, we'll do what we gotta do, don't worry about it. They didn't do anything. So 2 years later, there was a complaint submitted to the Federal Trade Commission because they still hadn't done anything about it. Then, of course, obviously, they decided they have to do something about it because you know, you can't have the feds on you, like. I think in the end they took the proper steps in order to rectify that, because since 2019 when the complaint was submitted, there's been no updates whatsoever, so I'm assuming the crisis is avoided. Although I do think maybe the feds should come back and maybe check and see if there's anything happening with, you know, a wee bit of child exploitation maybe. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. America just seemed to love a wee bit of on the sly child exploitation. It just seemed to always let it slide. I have no idea why. Right, getting on to the actual juice of the video. Is Ryan a slave? You know there's a problem when your child isn't allowed to ever be in an interview by himself. You're always lurking in the background and poking him, controlling him and making sure he doesn't say something he shouldn't say. Like, every time Ryan is interviewed, they're always there and present and guiding the interview, just kind of, you know, joking past certain things that are said that you really do actually want an answer to. I do genuinely believe we are witnessing the end of Rand's Toys review. I think it's went on for just too long, and you can really see that the tide is starting to change with online public opinion about this situation. Ryan is 13, and if you watch the videos, he never really looks like he wants to be there. In fact, a lot of people actually say he often looks really sad, which is just, it's actually depressing. Like, just let him go to school, let him have a normal life. It's not too late. Like, you've got your coin, leave it. I do think there's an awful lot of pressure on Ryan though to maintain the status quo of the channel. This channel is a juggernaut of creating revenue. If Ryan's gone, who knows whether or not that's going to be able to maintain itself. The brand will eventually burn out, surely. Ryan obviously was very enthusiastic, very hands-on. He was the star of the show after all. And thinking back to when I was that age, I don't know if I was a goody two-shoes or not, but I always just wanted to make my parents happy and proud. I would have done anything to make them happy and proud. I don't know whether his heart is really in it anymore. I think he's literally just doing it because he feels like he has to for his parents' sake, and down the road that is going to lead to an awful lot of resentment.
If you were to make a summer playlist with 4 artists, who would it be?
I don't really listen to individual artists, but my mom really loves Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift, so those two would definitely be on there.
Personally, I hope they just finish, that's it, done. They pull it all, they stop doing it with their kids as well, and just say, look, we are second generation immigrants and we've done really well for ourselves. Our parents would be proud. We are living the American dream. Let's just take our money and just enjoy it and have some generational wealth for the next few years. Time will tell whether or not they stick to that, but that's personally what I think is probably going to happen. I don't think Rand's in it anymore, and I think people can see that.